Normalcy returns to Abuja and other cities across the country after pockets of violence disrupted the first day of the End Bad Governance protest in most northern states, including Kano. But as the rally enters its second day, it appears the protesters remain committed to continue with the demonstrations until the government heeds to their demands. Be that as it may, government and private establishments are counting their losses as a result of destructions of properties worth millions, if not billions of naira, orchestrated by hoodlums in different parts of the country. And on a positive note, the Nigerian police force has arrested scores of suspected looters and vandals who disrupted the protests. You can see a breakdown of the number of suspected thugs arrested on the first day of the protests. There were 11 arrested in Niger, 25 in Kaduna, 50 were arrested in Katsina, with another 50 arrested in Nasarawa. More than 50 suspects were arrested in Bauchi, 55 arrested in Jigawa, 81 suspects were arrested in Sokoto, 395 were arrested in Kano. In total, Trust TV reports that more than 718 suspects were arrested for either engaging in violence or looting properties. While scores were injured, at least 18 people were killed. Reportedly, one person was killed in Abuja, Kano, and Kebbi. 2 people were killed in Kaduna. 3 died in Jigawa, 4 in Maiduguri, and 6 people in Niger State. And now to maintain law and order, curfew was imposed in 6 states, including Borno, Kano, Katsina, Jigawa, Yobe, and in Karu in Nasarawa states. Of course, in some of these states, it was in selected local government areas. And as it stands, this is the situation as far as the End Bad Governance protest is concerned in the country. And now the big question is, did the gains of this protest outweighs the losses? We seek to find answers to this and many more. And viewers, you can also join the conversation through a phone call a little later as the program unfolds. I'm Hamza Idris. Good evening and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. And our guest in the studio, as usual, is Jameelu Mohammed. He's an economic analyst and an author. And joining us from Birnin Kebbi virtually is Umar Aminu Kalgo. He's the Secretary, Nigeria Bar Association, Birnin Kebbi branch. He's also a public affairs analyst. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers.
Maybe, Jameelu, I will ask how you found your way to our studios later. Okay. Yes, but before the conversation commences, let's take a situation report on the second day of the protests in Abuja.
Before, maybe like that I be big, but now because of saying discounts over, see where I come stealing like that.
The day 2 protests started at the Berger roundabout, where the protesters were seen chanting different solidarity songs and carrying placards with different inscriptions. Not too long into the protest, the police started firing tear gas at protesters who were via a court order asked to restrict their protests to the National Stadium, Abuja. At the stadium, the protesters alluded the biting economic policies which have led to the pervasive hunger in the land as reasons for the protest and vowed not to stop until the president meets their demands.
We're here for the day 2 of the Days of Rage, the End Bad Governance protest in Nigeria. It's simply to make very fundamental requests. One, which is the reversal of fuel subsidy. You all agree that fuel subsidy removal has done us a whole lot of bad as a people and a nation. It has heightened our hardship, the hunger is unprecedented, and this needs to be reversed. I understand in the subsidy regime there's a whole lot of criminality, but you don't want to kill corruption and kill the citizens in part of it. You should have analyzed and understood how many million liters of fuel is consumed in Nigeria. Kill the corruption in the subsidy regime and not Nigerians.
If you practice democracy, you know that the right to protest is a fundamental right, even in the African Charter of the Peoples and Human Rights, in the United Nations Charter, and in the Nigerian Constitution. What you say, if you go to chapter 4, you have section 39 that talks about freedom of speech, section 40 about freedom of association, section 41 about freedom of movement. So the government must know that whatever they are using the security agencies to do to oppress the peaceful nature of this protest, and even sponsoring co-protesters. For days before this protest, there were people protesting against this protest. Nothing happened to them. There were people protesting that this protest should not happen. Nothing happened to them. Now protest is happening, and there's something going on. There's so much manpower being deployed. If that same manpower has been deployed against banditry, our farmlands would have been saved. So we can't continue to deploy manpower negatively. The Nigerian constitution is a fundamental right that must be obeyed by those in government. Those in government, we are not beholden to them. Nigerian people are not supposed to be genuflecting anytime they see those in government. It is those in government who should be afraid if there is a democratic election.
We are here, as citizens, to actually, keep to our promise that we are going to protest from August 1st to 10th. That is, if government complies with our demands. If they don't comply, we actually continue the protest.
I will also beg my northern brothers and sisters that they should calm down with the rates they have vandalized this government property, because I will still use this money to go and repair these things. So please stop burning police stations. It wouldn't help us. We are coming out in our numbers to protest against bad governance. We are coming out in our numbers to protest against the inflation rate. We are coming out. There is nothing that I've seen this government do that has pleased me since this government entered. So I am begging the president, come and address us in 24 hours, please.
The protesters marched towards the Eagle Square, but were stopped by security personnel before getting there. No, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
That was the protest in Abuja. And for update regarding Kano State, watch this report from our correspondent.
This is Murtala Mohammed Way in Kano, one of the most busiest streets in the state. But it has now been deserted, with only presence of security men enforcing compliance with the curfew order.
It
was unfortunate that youth came out yesterday instead of protesting. They ended up stealing people's property, destroying government property. You will see somebody carrying air conditioner, fan, chair. This is the NCC Digital Park, meant to instill digital skills for youth in Kano State, that was completely destroyed and the ICT equipment looted.
My brother, I cannot talk because this thing affected everybody business so much. Me particularly, I'm staying inside the market, Sabonge. It's my wife that is selling this okpa. So now, I cannot go anywhere. No food to eat. My wife must take care of the family, because if I go out before I hustle, I get what we eat for us.
Shops along Zaria Road were broken into and food items worth hundreds and thousands were taken away as the protesters equally stormed Audubako Secretariat, where they destroyed and looted government properties.
The point is that those in authority, they don't care. Even these protesters, again, some of them, my high says some of the big men have left the country. Not the solution. I get my point. But our message to the government that they should do something about it, especially Mr. President, because he's supposed to have come out and address the nation since yesterday.
For Kano residents, the protest took an unfortunate, but it was meant to alert the government on the current economic hardship, accusing the government of negligence and incompetence.
From the day one of the entering subsidy, they didn't plan of anything to remove subsidy. The meaning is that they want to kill the whole Nigeria. Yes. If you want to remove subsidy, you need to remove subsidy, yes, with brain. You can't just voice out that I remove subsidy and you don't have any plan.
Kano State Governor Abba Kabir had on Thursday declared a 24-hour curfew to prevent further breakdown of law and order arising from the hunger protest and escalating high cost of living among Nigerians. Idris, Trust TV News, Kano.
That was the pathetic situation in Kano. And elsewhere, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has held Nigerians who trooped to the streets in protest against governments of his main opponent in the last general elections, Bola Tinubu. The Literates reports that Atiku, in a statement on Friday, called on government to heed the voices of the people and come down from its high horses. Meanwhile, Atiku, Peter Obi, and Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu have won against a latest campaign against Igbos in Lagos, tagged Igbos Must Go. Once again, welcome to the program. As I said earlier, we have Jameelu Mohammed. He's an economic analyst and an author. He's here with us in the studio. And elsewhere in Kebbi, we have Umar Aminu Kalgo, Secretary NBA Birnin Kebbi branch. Of course, he's going to give us the legal perspective in respect to some of these issues. But let me start with you, Jameelu. What happened in Kano? Can we just say it's riot or protest?
It's riot. And I think we much touted that this kind of scenario is in the offing. We spoke.
You predicted it?
We predicted, actually. We said the way the protest, the so-called protest is organized, a protest that has no standard leaders. You know, if you say you are talking about, you have different groups, claiming the protest. So, and at the state level, I have not seen a good structure of leadership for the protest. So in that kind of scenario, and already we know how volatile the situation is. We know, most especially in states where you have a lot of miscreants, you have
jobless youth,
children, jobless youths, you know. So you should expect that this kind of things would happen. The unfortunate thing is that I think the government was less prepared. I don't know why. This protest was announced maybe more than a month ago, and I don't know, the government was supposed to have been very much prepared.
Maybe they took this for granted?
Well, I think they were only trying to listen to the human rights aspect of it. When they say you have to allow people to protest and so on and so forth, don't touch anybody. And I mean, so in that kind of scenario, I think the security was ill prepared in that respect.
All right, let's hear from Barrister Kalgo from Birnin Kebbi. Welcome to the program, Barrister.
Thank you, my pleasure, Mr. Hamza.
Yes, straight away, from the legal perspective, 718 youths are now in police net. What becomes of them?
As you rightly enumerated from your figures, the people apprehended as suspects in the looting and the mayhem and the disruption of public order are arrested by the police. The Nigerian police, if you look at the law, are empowered wherever there is reasonable cause to suspect someone to have committed such an offense. The police have the right to arrest, especially in a condition where the action is clear for everyone to see that this looting is going on in certain parts of the country. So now, after being apprehended, they have all the rights that a suspect has, because all those that are in custody now are presumed in the law as innocent. So the due course of the law will follow suit by the police trying to make the necessary investigation and then go on ahead and commence trial against such people before the courts of law. But as far as the Constitution and their rights are concerned, they are guaranteed, viewed from the perspective of the law as innocent until proven otherwise before a court of law.
Okay, and the Nigeria Bar Association at the national level, it is going to pursue cases of excesses by security operatives. Do you think this is a very good decision by your umbrella union?
Mr. Hamza, it has been quite a while to come on your program, but I want to state that currently I have done my tenure and completed my tenure as the secretary of the Birnin Kebbi branch, so I'm a member. Well, for the NBA in this country, you know, before the riot, the president of the NBA made a statement calling on Nigerians to see reason and restrain from the the protest. But all the same, as vanguards of human rights and rule of law, the president have charged all the chairmen to roll out and try and guarantee the fundamental rights of citizens that during this protest will need the services of council or law to see that the rights of each and sundry are protected. So I think it's a welcome development by the association, not minding the position it has regarding the protests altogether. It has to come to the situation on ground to see what it can provide for the citizens of Nigeria in terms of legal services where need be.
Okay, and what was the disposition in Kebbi State, for instance? Was there outrage? People took to the streets?
Yes, particularly yesterday, people were on the street to make the protest, though the crowd was not so large. And there are incidents in Birnin Kebbi town where tear gas was fired at protesters. And equally in Yauri, too, there was this procession of protesters. And from the reports we had that there is a great looting that took place, particularly in Yauri. But in Birnin Kebbi, what occurred was that the protesters are trying to go to the government house, and they were fired with tear gas. So this is what happened. But I think the situation in Birnin Kebbi town could be better managed. In my own opinion, looking at the crowd, I don't think it's beyond the management of the police. I have seen what the Nigerian police have done in other states, very commendable in Lagos, but I would have loved to see them show more professionalism in dealing with the crowd in Kebbi. Because I believe those youth, if they have the opportunity of going to the government house, maybe to find an official to ventilate their mind, we will not have the need to have them being showered with some tear gas. So by and large, Kebbi is peaceful. Even yesterday, all things, as I was in court yesterday, I visited 2 high courts and proceedings were in due, and even people from the prisons were brought to court for their trial. So by and large, it's peaceful. The demonstration is just the incidence of the firing of the tear gas.
Okay, I will come back to you for a last question after I take some points from Jameelu here in the studio. Now, why is it difficult to have rancor-free protests in Nigeria? You see it happening in other places, of course, not devoid of, 1 or 2, abnormalities also.
Well, our level of education is one factor. We spoke about some of the out-of-school children and miscreants joining the fray, so to say. This is one factor. The other factor is, as the legal practitioner has mentioned, is the preparedness of the law enforcement agencies, the police in particular. How prepared is the police, the professionalism in policing this kind of situation, I think is another factor. In certain states, yes, it is not because, you may not say because the police were up and doing in one state, that's why it didn't happen, and in other states. You see, the scenarios were actually different in different states. So
is it the level of poverty or the population? The
population, level of poverty, level of education, and then the preparedness of the police. I think these are generally.
But some are even giving it a political coloration.
Could
that be
the reason why you will give the political coloration is when a politician comes to buy somebody, he would only buy somebody who is not educated. That's very fundamental. So that's why I say in most cases it's our level of education. There are certain people that a politician will not just come and buy you. In certain states, there are states I learned that certain politicians went home and were distributing 3,000 naira to people, telling them that don't join the protest. So I was asking, well, in patriotism, I will not join the protest, yes.
So you didn't join, but have you joined the protest?
I didn't. I said, I gave two conditions. I said, yes, there are things that are actually very bad. Our economy, even the political scene, we have serious issues to address. Yes, I agree. But concerning the protest, I said two things. If I have two things, I will join the protest. One, there has to be an articulated leadership of the protest. Then two, there has to be articulated demands. The demands should be articulated. I should understand clear that these are demands that the government would meet, not just somebody waking up from sleep and then telling us that declare this, declare that. So I said if these two things are there, I will join the protest. But I didn't see these two things, so I didn't join the protest.
All right, Barrister Kalgo, before we let you go, now in the eye of law, what kind of protection should protesters get from government at national and subnational levels?
The responsibility of maintaining law and order and safety of citizens is a duty on the government. That said, I believe each and every individual too has reason to help government in achieving that. The reason why I'm underscoring this is when you look at how the protest occurred in Lagos, you see the protesters, the real protesters, have reason to, synergize with the Nigerian police so that the would-be, miscreants trying to derail their peaceful protests are not allowed to achieve that. So I would say it's a responsibility on the government and also on organizers of protests to make sure that if they knew that certain areas, because you can see the apprehension of people before this protest. I was also on TVC and just a day before the protest, and I give my opinion because looking at how volatile the situation is in certain areas is something that you can see that this looting and other things could happen. So if the protectors have heeded and maybe keep it in a control area, certain things could be averted. And I know the Nigerian police in certain places have tried to contain this issue of protest. So I would say it's a responsibility in two ways. The organizers to have to heed because the security agencies may have, classified information and intelligence that maybe the ordinary organizer will not have in certain situations. But in this our situation, I think certain things are even on the wall for everyone to see. So the responsibility is there on the police to do that, but you can find the difficulty in certain circumstances where maybe it could not be achieved.
All right. Barrister Aminu Kalugo, thank you very much for joining us via Zoom from Birnin Kebbi. Please stay safe. And viewers, now it is the right time to lend your voices to the conversation through the dedicated phone number displayed on your screen. Remember to keep your comment precise and avoid foul language. Of course, we want to weigh the gains and losses of this protest. Over to you as we expect your calls. Yes, Jameelu, is it worth it when you look at the numbers I mentioned earlier? 718 in all arrested, about 18 people killed, those who came to the fore, because there are reports that quite a number of people have been killed, either extrajudicially or in defense, because some of these attackers or people who came out in the name of protest also made attempt to attack security operators.
I think we should hold two people responsible.
Okay.
The government on one side through its own policing system, and then the organizers of the protest. Yes, we should hold them responsible for all this carnage. If you are not sure of the kind of protests, if you are not so organized that this is the kind of protest you are going to hold, the courts have given their own verdict that they have designated certain places where this protest should only hold. Don't go out of those places. Why did they allow the protest to go beyond those places?
But is it normal in other climes to restrict protesters to certain places?
Well, it is not about climes. You see, the issue is not about a general scenario talking about fundamental human rights, about United Nations Charter and so on and so forth. Yes, we have our own constitution, we have how it has spelled out the fundamental, our own fundamental human rights, the right to protest, the right to peaceful assembly and so on and so forth. The scenario is different. We have to look at our own peculiarities.
Okay, we have our peculiar situation.
We have our own peculiar situation.
Okay, now we will have our first caller, who is Stephen from Cross River. Stephen, welcome to the program, and I hope you are safe wherever you are.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yes, welcome.
In fact, the condition is a shameful condition. Imagine somebody tell you that prepare your house, so thing is going to happen, so day. How will you go about it? In short, I'm just speechless. The type of, I don't know the right word to use, but for me, it's a kind of irresponsible leaders we have. They do not do anything concerning all
this. Would you apologies? Yes. Would you apologies?
Yes, okay. they do not do anything at all. Before they protest, already the people have informed them that so thing will be. They don't protect life and property. These people die, and they are not. There is no way we will recover this people again. Okay. We have learned a lot. We have learned, in short, let us learn from all these things. And I just, in short, to cut this in short. People have, look at somebody telling you that he's hungry. The price of fire, people are not, how do we do it? How do we go about it? People are hungry. There's no money. Starvation everywhere. And that is why you see people protesting. They are not protesting that they should give them houses, cars, or the innocent, that is the vulnerable people are, they can't even eat one time a day in this country. That is what Stephen is contributing from Cross River. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. But last question for you. Have you joined the protest, Stephen?
No, I'm not on that.
Oh, you didn't join the protest?
I'm not on that.
All right.
I'm not on that.
Thank you. All right. Stephen didn't join the protest, but he actually took rulers or leaders from top to bottom to the cleaners. But I have seen quite a number of comments. People say, look, we should call leaders at the subnational level. We should call them out.
Yes.
That is governors, local government chairmen, and all that. Instead of heaping the complete
blame on the federal government. You see, let's give maybe 60 to 70% of the blame should go to the state government.
Why? Why?
Okay, let me give you now. Government, the entire federal government or the federation has now divested the Nigerian system, most of it, back to the subnational levels. I will give you an example. Taxes are now collected mainly by the states. Look at the federal allocation. The states now have a chunk of it. I read the interview of the Nasarawa state governor yesterday. Yeah. He lamented, he was actually saying, yes, hold us responsible, we the states, hold us responsible. Local governments that were used to collecting something around 2.2 to 2.5 billion monthly now collect 4.5 billion.
I was appalled when I saw it.
Okay, so these things are there. Now look at another scenario we are having now. We have the Niger Delta Development Commission. We have the Northeast Development Commission. Now we have the Northwest Development Commission.
And
these are fiscal structures in our
and even
economic
Southeast,
system.
I think they were created the same day. Southeast and
Northwest. You see, so these are fiscal development structures. What the federal government is doing is allow the monetary aspect to us, manage the fiscal aspect. So by
how do you mean for our viewers if you say monetary and fiscal?
Okay, what I mean is the allocation of resources now belongs to the states.
Okay.
Managing the resources internally is for the federal government, but the allocation is for the states. So most of what is allocated to the whole system, to the whole economic system, is now with the states.
But maybe the federal government is not doing enough in popularizing what they are doing.
Maybe,
we'll take this caller,
yes,
Uzoma from Imo State. Welcome to the program, Uzoma. Hello, are you with us?
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Uzoma, good evening. How are you?
Fine. I'm interested on the discussion this evening. But the issue is it not possible for the president to reverse the fuel subsidy and look for about 1 year, see how possible, how it will look like, so that people, Nigerian people will be okay.
You are calling for reversal of fuel subsidy?
Yes. Let me reverse and watch and see the situation in the country. If it's possible, you can reverse it. If it's not, if the most important thing in Nigeria, if you reverse it and allow the first of the country will be okay. People will be okay with him.
Okay, Uzoma, I think Jameelu will speak on this, but I have this question for you, because quite a number of questions since yesterday.
Secondly, I don't know whether the president do call, listen to you on the radio.
Okay. All right.
I don't think they're interested.
In having peace?
Are you hearing me?
No, repeat what you said.
What I'm saying is, I don't think that the president is interested in hearing what people are discussing on television. If he is hearing all this, he will revise it and hear the cry of the people.
I'm certain if he is not watching, quite a number of people that are very close and dear to him are watching us. But there is this question, Uzoma. I don't know. Since yesterday, people
that is hearing all this, you have reversed it. And the people are dying everywhere, problem everywhere. No security, nothing much. Please.
All right.
If it's overseas, the president will have resigned.
Okay. I want to ask, please, why is it that there was no protest in the Southeast? Since you are from Imo, maybe you have an idea as to why the Southeast did not join the protest.
Come again.
Why the Southeast, all the 5 states in the Southeast, did not join the protest? Why? Was there a meeting?
The reason is that if it happen to, if they do the protest here, if people will not like it, because our people, they are trying to lead our things.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Uzoma.
Please.
All right, thank you. God bless you. Yes. Anyway, before you maybe chip into the question I asked him, he said subsidy should be returned. But because we've been discussing this, Jameelu,
yes.
I want to ask, assuming things have been going on normal since 65 years back when oil was discovered,
yes.
We harness the resources, we have the refineries and all that. Could we be talking about subsidy?
Yes.
We will still be talking about subsidy?
We'll still be talking about subsidy. You see, in most situations, nations that have this kind of natural resources, there is a way you make citizens to easily kind of consume their own resources. It's not the way you would go and sell these same resources in Niger or in Congo Democratic Republic. Shouldn't be the way you should sell it in Nigeria. It is our own resource. It is, in fact, economically, it happens in every nation. There is no nation that does not run one type of subsidy.
If you go to UK, education from primary,
subsidy, you have
health.
That. The problem is the way we handled our own. That's the problem. Right now, the subsidy we are talking about is even opaque. There's a lot of non-transparency inside it. There's a lot of opaqueness there. It is not transparent. Now there are questions being asked. Has the subsidy actually been removed? Because nobody is telling us, if you have removed the subsidy, where is the money? We have not seen the money in our budgets. We have not seen the money we have not been told that the money has been saved somewhere else. So that question is there now.
Right.
So we still have to, and the way the government went about it, it was very horrible.
All right.
Very, very horrible.
All right, Jameelu. We have Okonyechi from Niger State. Welcome to the program. Hello? Okon? Let me shorten the name so that to get it right.
Good evening.
Yes, Okon. Okay, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Yes, I hope you are safe wherever you are in Niger State.
I'm fine.
Okay, can you reduce the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you? Okay, it's like there's a network problem with her phone. Yes. All right, who is the... yeah. Okay, hello?
This is Mr. Jatu.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, welcome. You are welcome to the program.
What else? Yeah, this is Mr. Jatu.
Okay, can you reduce the volume of your TV set? Okay, we can hear you now. Go ahead. Hello? Oh, sad. We lost the fourth caller also. Why I ask, Jameelu, when I said whether the issue of subsidy will keep occurring, should government be making noise about it? Shouldn't that be quietly giving the subsidy to the people, considering that this resource is meant for the
lack of transparency in it is why the noise is there. The noise is not only government. Actually, the government was even quiet about it. People started realizing that there's something wrong with the system, so people started voicing out, talking about it. That's how it became public. Otherwise, there are certain situations where why our refineries not running? You can subsidize through our refineries. Certain countries, if you talk about countries like Brunei, they subsidize this kind of resource through possibly, the institutions.
All right.
Something like the refinery. That's what. Just supply your refinery at a predefined price. The price does not have to be that same price you have
that you export. You mustn't have to put it at the international market.
International
we have a caller, Manji from Nasarawa State. Welcome to the program, Manji.
Hello, good afternoon. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam. How are you? I hope you are safe. Are you in Mararaba or deep in Nasarawa? Yes.
My name is Manji from Nasarawa State.
You are welcome.
I want to contribute to this hunger protest.
Good, you have the space. Go ahead.
Yes. What we are suffering, this hungry is too much. And again, if Mr. President will help us, we are his people, and we are begging him if he can assist us to bring down this fuel subsidy. That one will help. And again, this protest that they are doing, everybody, not that we are happy with the rich ones, what they are doing. We are not happy at all.
Okay.
But he should listen to us. If he can come out and address us, it will be better. We voted him on this position. He is our president. We are not denying that. He will help us because the condition we are in now is too much. You see, people are hungry. Please.
All right, Manji.
Help us.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you
very much, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, Jameelu, the summation, as we keep saying, is that the subsidy should be brought back. And I think what we should try to understand is the subsidy can be brought back by doing the right thing, as you said, fixing the refineries, give them the crude, and then allow them to pump it into the market.
Yes, but before that, let us be very transparent about the whole thing.
Okay.
Let government come out transparently. to tell us that there are insinuations that the subsidy is being paid through the back door.
Honestly, I want to confess because I was privy to a meeting with a high-profile government source who claimed that as it is now, it's over 800 billion.
You see now, so it's the same thing. We've been talking about that the subsidy is being paid through the back door. That's the lack of transparency. So government must come out and tell us that the truth is, this is what the landing price of fuel is, and this is what the price is in the market, in the Nigerian market. Okay. This is the subsidy government is giving. Right. Then we should know whether the subsidy is there or not. Right. Then we should now begin to talk about whether how to remove the subsidy.
All right, Jameelu. We have Johnson from here in Abuja. Johnson, welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir. My name is Johnson from Abuja.
Okay, welcome. I hope you are safe wherever you are.
Yes, I'm very much safe.
All right. Abuja. Okay, let's have your take. Yes.
Yes. So my own take on this is simple. When you are approaching an issue, you start from the roots.
Okay.
Some time ago in, I think either Channels Television or TVC, a documentary was made of the modular refineries we have in Nigeria.
Yes.
And it is allegedly claimed that these refineries are working, and many of our distributors, that is the distributors of petroleum in the country, are actually going to these modular refineries, and they are getting this product. Now, I expected that before the president will come in and just remove the subsidy immediately, you should have actually laid out plans on how to actually approach the current subsidy issue. Part of those plans is to provide buses and to provide measures through which it can be eased. Then while you are on it, you can also address the issue of the corruption in the subsidy regime.
Yes, as
you don't just come out and just take it out immediately.
Yes.
People are suffering, real suffering. People can't afford food to eat. It is that bad as we speak now.
All right. All right, Johnson. So I want to have your take on the viability or otherwise of the protest. Are you in support of it? Should it continue, or people should say, okay, we have passed our message, let's go back home?
Well, in all honesty, I am not totally in support of the protest.
Okay.
However, because for me personally, the protest is not properly organized.
Okay.
It is gradually going to turn out to be chaos.
So if you have your way, tomorrow the protesters should not take to the streets?
No, they should take to the street. It has already started.
They should continue up to the 10th of August?
Yes, they should continue. I'm actually saying it to continue for even a month, if not more.
But what do you think? Okay, now assuming you have your way, Johnson, to talk to President Tinubu, or maybe someone who is watching to take the message to President Tinubu, what will you tell him to do to avert?
I will tell him to actually call the attention of the citizens, call for a press briefing, address the nation.
Okay.
Tell them about what you intend to do and how you intend to do these things. That is all people are asking for.
Okay.
And then let us see these things happening. Subsidy has been out for over a year. We have not seen the impact. Instead, people are suffering. These monies that have been gotten from subsidy removal, what has it been used for? No briefing, nothing.
Okay. Thank you, Johnson.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Jameelu, I know protocol-wise, those around the president can say, don't go out, or you have to go out, or you must do this because we have information that if you didn't do this, something will happen. Is Nigeria different? Because since a day before the protest, people have been calling on Mr. President to address the nation. Why is he actually reluctant to do that?
Not only a day before the protest. I think since the day these protests were proposed, announced, I think that was the very day the government was supposed to have taken this thing seriously and said we are going to address this issue. Not only addressing the nation, taking up diplomacy to reach out and then avert the protest itself. This protest should have been averted.
So something is wrong somewhere.
Something is wrong somewhere.
All right, Jameelu. We have another caller from Plateau State, Ibrahim. Welcome to the program, Ibrahim.
Good morning, good evening.
Yes, good evening. We're happy having you. And how safe are you and the people in Plateau State?
Well, I'm doing very well in Plateau. At least there's nothing, harassing my situation here around my area.
Okay. So what is your contribution to the...
well, my own contribution, I want to ask question first.
Okay, fine.
Please, are we in a democratic country?
Okay.
If we really are, at least the president is supposed to address his people.
Yeah.
If we really are, some other countries, you can see developed countries, if there is issue like this, they come immediately and arrest the situation by broadcast. President should come out and address the country.
Okay.
Because a reasonable number of people are dying. I can see from the line of this thing you arrange. In other states, a lot of people have been killed.
Yes.
Some people have been arrested.
All right, Ibrahim, I have a question for you. Jameelu will answer this, maybe, whether we are in democracy. But why, or what magic wand did people in Plateau State put in place? Because when you look at the red spots map, Plateau wasn't there. And there was even a picture that we saw, even though we are unable to authenticate it, that during the protest yesterday, Christians, guarded Muslims who were observing the Zuhur prayer. Was it around Nasco roundabout or something like that?
It has taken place during Jumat prayer. At least the congregation prayer has been conducted. The Christians are protecting the Muslims to conduct their prayer peacefully. That's good, at least. It shows a kind of there is democracy, there is understanding among the people. It's no longer a conflict among the indigenous on the plateau. It is about the country, about the hunger that is not recognizing any religion, that's not recognizing any ethical group. It recognizes the whole country that are in total problem. People are facing a difficult what to eat.
So can we now, you can see, yes, Ibrahim, on the screen, that's Osogbo, Osun State. You can see Christians behind while the Muslims observing prayers. Can we now categorize this as one of the advantages of the protest?
Yes, it is one of the advantages because it is telling people now we are not seriously disturbed about their governance, but we are really disturbed about the situation we find ourselves.
Right.
If Habib bin, they will address the issue. They will look into our own problem. Since it is democracy, we, the people that elected them, we say we don't want the subsidy. We don't want the subsidy. So at least the government should look at the yearning of the people. Who elected them? Who did they want to come back to this office? Why will you elect somebody that will not listen to you? Why will you elect somebody that will not listen to your yearning? Why is it? We are more than 280 million in the country. 230. A reasonable number have shown they are not interested in this subsidy.
Okay, Ibrahim, yes, I'm afraid to say thank you very much. You are making quite a number of good points, but we thank you for calling and we hope we have you some other time. Yes, and Jameelu, we are rounding up maybe a point or two on the gains and losses from this protest.
Well, I don't know if there are any gains. The gains possibly is that passing note to the government that
uniting Nigerians?
All is not well.
Okay.
Well, that unity has been there. I think the unity has been there, but the issue is passing message to the government that there is a problem.
Okay.
And then the losses, we cannot count the losses. Once human lives are involved, I think we shouldn't be counting losses. We have lost enough. Let's say enough is enough. That is the president, as it is now a consensus all over Nigeria, the government, the president should come out and address the nation, address certain issues, address the issue of food security, about our subsidy,
securing farmlands,
out of school children, these multitude issues. I think the president need to come out. He shouldn't allow his cabinet to cage him and tell him things that everything is okay, we are taking care of. No. Come out and address the nation. Take this very fundamental stand up to the nation.
Thank you very much. And because we have run out of time, we want to thank Stephen from Cross River, Uzoma Imo Ogechuku from Niger, Manji from Nasarawa, Johnson from Abuja, and Ibrahim from Jos, and most importantly, Jameelu Mohammed here in the studio, who helped in putting context to some of the issues raised. And we also thank Barrister Umar Aminu Kalgo from Birnin Kebi, who joined us virtually. And that's a wrap on today's package. Hope to have you next week for more interesting editions of Daily Politics. But remember, maintain peace while you continue to call for the government to do the right thing. Thank you for being with us. Bye-bye from here. I am Hamza Idris.